स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome to the study of Vivekachudamani, the Crest-Jewel of Discrimination, composed by none other than the great Acharya, Bhagavan Shankaracharya. We were now studying the 9th verse of the Vivekachudamani. Before going into the matter, please note that the live chat has been enabled for this video. If you have any questions relating to this discourse, please type it in the live chat and I will try to respond to them at the end of today's discourse or the next week's discourse. Please use this live chat if you have a question. Thank you. Namaste. We shall now chant the 9th verse of the Vivekachudamani. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, Uddharet Atmanatmanam Uddhared Atmanatmanam Magnam Samsara Varidhau Yogarudastvam Asatya Samyak Darshana Nishtaya. We shall chant this. I will be chanting it. You can chant it after me. Uddharet Atmanatmanam Uddharet Atmanatmanam Magnam Samsaravaridhau Magnam Samsaravaridhau Yogarudhatvamasatya Samyak Darshana Nishtaya. By attaining to a state of Yogarudha, by firm knowledge of Brahman, let one raise one's impure mind, steeped in the ocean of samsara. This transmigratory existence is called samsara, by one's own pure mind. The purport conveyed in brief above is elaborated by Bhagavad Pada. Bhagavad Pada means Sri Shankaracharya. In these verses, the striving for liberation has for its final step Samyak Darshana. Or what is meant by Samyak Darshana? Right understanding of the nature of the Lord, that is Parabrahman. By this verse, it is said that such Samyak Darshana, or the perfect knowledge or understanding of the nature of Brahman, is the direct means to liberation. And that for one being a Yogarudha, to get that he should be a Yogarudha. So we also, last time we studied about who is a Yogarudha. Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is told, Yadahi Nendriya Artheshu na karmasvanusajjate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yogarudastadochyate. One is said to be a Yogarudha when one is not attracted by objects of senses and is not attached to actions to secure them. From this it follows that Samyak Darshana Nishtha, perfect understanding of the nature of the Lord or Parabrahman, Samyak Darshana Nishtha, perfect understanding of God or Parabrahman. So from this we can come to the conclusion, it follows that Samyak Darshana Nishtha alone, which is preceded by supreme detachment, that is Yogarudhatva, is the means to salvage a person from this ocean of transmigratory existence, that is the samsara. So that is the meaning of this verse. So we we are and we were dealing about this verse, particularly Uttaret Atmanatmanam, is a wonderful idea given by Lord Krishna and here elaborated by Shankaracharya. So we took almost 3 hours or 3 classes to explain this. Now, here in this verse, Bhagavad Pada or Shankaracharya is likening the samsara, this transmigratory existence where we live in, this world of ours where we are living, to an ocean, samsara sagara, magnam samsara varidhau. Varidhi means the ocean. So it is likened to a ocean, this world, this samsara, this transmigratory existence. Why? As it corresponds to in all the features. See, you can compare it. This world, this samsara is very similar to that big ocean. How the large and big waves in the ocean. All the waves in the ocean are just like our 5 big waves in this transmigratory existence. What are those? Klesha, misery. That's one big wave, misery. We have so much of suffering, miseries, tapatraya. That's why we all, after the Shanti mantra, we are always telling Om Shanti 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 3 times to remove this 3 tapa, the miseries, to end all that eternally or permanently. That's why 3 times we tell Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So here, klesha, miseries, tapatraya. Then another big ocean is avidya, nescience, ignorance, wrong understanding. Then another big wave is asmita. What is this asmita? Delusion, confusion, confounding the non-Atman, the unreal thing or this world, the non-Atman with the Atman, that which is not God. We confuse that with God. The confusing or confounding the non-Atman with the Atman, that is called as asmita. Then comes another big wave, that is raga. What is that raga? Attachment. We are dependent, psychological dependence upon things and people. So many around us, we depend. Without them, we think that we will be doomed or we will drown. So we falsely think that we need the help of so many people and so many things in our life. But in reality, we are self-sufficient. We don't need any help from outside at all. We are completely self-sufficient, Purna. So that wrong idea of psychological dependency upon people and things is called raga, attachment. Then that is another wave. After that, there is another wave, abhinivesha. What is this abhinivesha? It is given in the yoga, Patanjali Maharshi's yoga. What is meant by abhinivesha? The delusion in which, the delusion, now the fear of death. Abhinivesha is the fear of death even among the learned people. Vidushopi marana bhitihi. Vidushaha api marana bhitihi. Even great learned people also have this fear of death. So even in the microbes, even in the virus, even in the coronavirus now which has come, which is attacking us, and we are also having the fear of death, and the coronavirus also will be having fear of death. That's called abhinivesha. A just born animal also will have fear of death. It will try to protect itself. The just born hen will run away from water. The just born duck will run away towards water. So these are all from the fear of death. So you flee from that place because of fear. So that is called, that big ocean is called in our scriptures as abhinivesha. What is meant by abhinivesha? The fear of death even among the learned people. Vidushopi marana bhitihi. Delusion is the another this thing. Confusion and delusion. What is that? Another whirlpool. There will be whirlpool inside the sea and also inside the rivers. It will be going round and round and round and round. Whirlpool. If you just put your hand or if you just go near it, it will suck you inside and you cannot escape. Death is sure. So that's called whirlpool. So delusion is the whirlpool in that ocean. So there are so many things like husband, children, wife, father, mother, friends, wealth, and kinsmen are the aquatic people which will cause this delusion in it. Then there is one more thing called anger, krodha, anger. That is a fierce heat in its depth. Badabagni, there will be volcanic eruptions inside the sea, ocean. So that fire will come out inside the sea, the volcanic eruptions. It's called Badabagni, Agni. So that anger is compared to that in our life. Krodha is the fierce heat in its depth. Badabagni, lust is the net. So there is one more danger in this transmigratory existence, that is lust. Kamaha is the net mesh in which we are all caught. Then to the same effect, Sri Bhagavad Pada, that Shankaracharya says in his Lakshmi Narasimha Stotra. So in one of the stotras to Lord Lakshmi Narasimha, Sri Shankaracharya tells, he composes this stotra telling, O Lord, extend to me thy helping hand to rescue me from the vast ocean of samsara, beset with this all-devouring monster of time, and from my being lost in the mounting waves of passion. So time is also another thing. It is devouring everything. If you are not fast, whether you are fast or slow, time is devouring you. Every second it is taking you to death. You are moving. Nobody can stop it. Can anybody stop the time? That is another big monster, time. It's overtaking us all the time. So time is overtaking us all the time. And we are lost in that. And from my being lost in another thing, that is a mounting wave of passions. So these are all big waves coming in our life. So this samsara, transmigratory existence, this life is compared by Shankaracharya to samsara varidhau, varidhi means ocean. Accordingly, that's why Shankaracharya is comparing it to an ocean. It is the embodiment of avidya, nescience or ignorance, and its effects. So many are the effects of this avidya. It cannot be crossed without the aid of samyak gnana. This agnana, avidya, this ignorance cannot be crossed. This samsara is the embodiment by product of avidya and its effects. So this cannot be crossed without the aid of knowledge. How can you overcome darkness? Only by light. So how can you overcome ignorance? Only by knowledge. Samyak darshana, right understanding. So right understanding of the Lord. He only can remove all these fierce effects of samsara. So accordingly, samsara is compared to the ocean. It is embodiment of ignorance, avidya, and its effects, and it cannot be crossed without the aid of samyak darshana. Perfect wisdom of the Lord, Parabrahma Swarupa. A person who thinks of his body, which is non-Atman, as the Atman, cannot know that when the body is born or dies, these birth and death which relates to it do not pertain to the Atman. They cannot correlate it, they cannot understand, they think that they are dying and they suffer and they are in pain. A person who thinks of this body, which is non-Atman. If we think this body, which is non-Atman, as the Atman, real self, then all this birth and death and all other things will get us into so much of pain. In reality, it's not so. The Atman, our real self, is not attached to this body or anything. It is detached. So all this birth and death, which relate to do not pertain to the Atman. That we have the hunger and thirst are features only of the prana, the breath and the joy and sorrows relates to antakarana, only to our mind, inner mental organ, and that these do not affect the Atman. Our real nature is not at all affected by this. You may call, why do we feel hunger? Why do we feel this thirst? It is only for the prana, our energies inside. They are creating this thirst and hunger. Then birth and death, it's only for the body, the external body, not for the Atman. Atman is detached. Then what about we are having so much of joys and sorrows, dualities? That is only to the antakarana, the mind. It does not belong to Atman. It is not attaching or troubling the Atman. It's only to the mental organ, and that these do not affect the sorrows, and joy does not affect the Atman. Thus, nescience or avidya, confounding the Atman with the non-Atman. So the avidya will make us think that the non-Atman to be Atman. It confuses us. Confounding. Confusion is confounded. So confounding the Atman with the non-Atman, desire and aversion, we like something, we dislike something, desire and aversion, attachment, etc. display themselves in the successive series of waves coming in this samsara. So much of waves are rising in this ocean. Delusion itself is a great whirlpool which one is sucked into. So due to this delusion, wrong understanding, thinking the right to be the wrong and wrong to be the right, the delusion itself is a big whirlpool which will suck us in and make us forget everything of our real nature. So avarta is the idea of a thing in what is not that. Atasmin tad buddhihi. It's called avarta. Whirlpool is called avarta. Now, on account of the operation of the beginningless avidya, we don't know when this avidya, this nescience started. Beginningless avidya, a person speaks of himself as, we call ourselves as agna, ignorant, fools. We consider ourselves as fools and idiots, that we don't have knowledge. We always speak about that. Oh, I do not know anything. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm weak. I'm helpless. I'm not an intelligent person. I don't have this qualification, that qualification. I don't know. All these things is called agna, ignorant, we feel. So, because on account of this delusion, identifying ourselves with the wrong things, so a person speaks of himself as ignorant, and also karta, I am the doer. I want to do this, I want to do that. Without me, nothing can survive. Everybody are dependent upon me. And also I consider myself as man and woman, manushya, that this body is of a man, I'm a woman, I'm child, I'm old. All these things you start identifying with that because of the ignorance, because on account of operation of beginningless avidya. So all this happens. The Atman is unattached, but in reality Atman is unattached, pure, blemishless, amala, asanga, and of the form of existence, intelligence and bliss, Satchit Ananda Rupa. It itself is, we need not depend upon anything because we are of the nature of existence, infinite, absolute. We are of the intelligence, nature of intelligence, that is consciousness, infinite, absolute. Then infinite bliss, absolute. That is our nature. Why do we want to get little joys from the outer world? No, you are of the nature of bliss. So Satchit Ananda Swarupa. By non-realization of this true nature, it is mistaken as the karana, causal, then sukshma, subtle, and stula, gross bodies. Hence, the delusion as agna, ignorant, karta, I am the doer, and I am the body, I am the man, I am the woman, I am the girl, I am the boy, all those things we start feeling, identifying ourselves with all these external things which are changing constantly. Such condition itself is being immersed in the ocean of samsara. So why did Shankaracharya compare that with ourselves immersing in this samsara, magnau samsara varidau? So this condition, all these condition itself is being immersed in the ocean of samsara. So it is to be noted that one has no awareness of samsara and deep dreamless state. When you go to deep dreamless state, when you are sleeping in sushupti, see, while you go to sleep, you will have first thing the dream state. And after that you go to deep sleep, sushupti. There it is dreamless sleep. So will you have all these things there? Will anybody know that you are a girl or a boy or a man or a woman or old or young? Do you have this knowledge there in the deep sleep? Nobody. Go and see. Imagine going to deep sleep. Did you have anything about it? So these are all just delusion. It is not true. If it was true that you are a man or a woman, you are old or young or dull or intelligent, all those things, then the same should have been in your dreamless deep sleep state too. It is to be noted that one has no awareness of this samsara at all. Anything about this external world in deep dreamless sleep, sushupti. Even though sushupti is characterized by agnana, the reason for this is that in deep sleep, though there is agnana, the mind, manas, is not operative because the mind is not operating. The cause of samsara is to be traced to the combination of agnana, that is ignorance, and the mind. So, what is causing? The combination. The cause of this world, this samsara, this transmigratory existence where we are living in. Now, we think all these troubles, everything, fear of death, so many things were there. The cause of this samsara is to be traced to the combination. So, combining, these two combining together, that is agnana, that is ignorance, and mind. These two are the cause. They combine together. For it is said, so there is a saying in one of the smritis, Manusmriti, what is that? Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho bandhaya vishayasaktam muktyai nirvishayam smritam. What does this Manusmriti tells? It is telling, it is said, mind alone is the cause of the bondage and liberation. Our mind alone is the cause of bondage. Oh, we think we are bound, we think we are free, we think we are healthy, we are thinking everything that and this. How do you think? Only because of my mind. So it's the state of mind. So mind is very, very important here. Mind alone is the cause of bondage. And also mind alone is the cause of liberation of human beings. Attachment to objects of sense through the mind makes for bondage. Then what is bondage? Attachment to objects of senses through the mind makes for bondage, while withdrawal from them leads to liberation. So who is the cause? Your mind is the cause of bondage. Mind is the cause of liberation. That's why mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Mind alone is the cause of bondage and the liberation of men. Hence, the attachment of an undiscriminating mind. So that's why discrimination is viveka. To know the right from the wrong, to know the real from the unreal, that is viveka. So, but we do not properly discriminate, we don't have viveka, we don't use our viveka, though we have that energy. So hence the attachment of an undiscriminating mind to the body and to this world itself is immersion of the Atman, here mind, in the ocean of samsara. Samsara varidau, magnam samsara varidau. When it is cleansed, when this mind which is impure, attached, is cleansed, when the mind is cleansed and perfected by the process of listening from the Guru and the scriptures, Shravana, then reflection, meditating on the truth, Manana, etc., then it attains to its true state, devoid of delusion. That's why Sri Ramakrishna used to always tell, pure mind is pure buddhi, is the same as pure Atman. When the mind becomes pure, the same as the pure buddhi, then pure intelligence. Pure mind is equal to pure intelligence, and that is equal to pure Atman. So if you purify your mind, if you give the knowledge to the mind by Shravana Manana, by listening to the scriptures, by the words of the Guru, by the teachings of the Guru, then you start reflecting it, meditating on it, do the sadhana, spiritual practices. strive for liberation, then your mind becomes pure. Then that pure mind is nothing but it gives up all the attachment. So then it attains to true state devoid of delusion. That is pure mind. This means that the non-discriminating deluded mind must be raised up. So why is this brought here? Chaurasya has told in the beginning itself, Uddharet Atmanatmanam. So you have to lift yourself from this quagmire, from this low state by yourself. Nobody can help you. You have to do it yourself. So this means that the non-discriminating deluded mind must be raised up, salvaged or drawn away from whatever is non-Atman, unreal, by the mind itself. Nobody can do it by your own mind, by yourself, which is acquired discrimination, Viveka, from the study of the scriptures and the help of Guru, so that you have got Viveka. From that mind, purified mind, you have to lift yourself. That is Uddharet Atmanatmanam. Even thus, the process of salvaging Uddharana is only metaphorical. Why? Why is it metaphorical? That Uddhara, you have to lift yourself, is metaphorical. It is an as if. Why is that? Why is it telling so? For the Atman is in reality always non-attached. Our real nature, our true self, Atman, is really non-attached. Then what are we doing all this time? Why should we lift ourselves? What is this purification? But by its habit of looking outwards, it appears to be attached, even as a crystal appears to be red by its proximity to a real object. You have a crystal, spatika. Okay, let us tell prism, because you may not understand what is spatika. We'll take the example of a prism. So you keep a red hibiscus flower near it, or a rose, colored rose, pink rose near it. Anything, any colored. Then what does that prism or spatika look like? Though it is colorless, it's crystal clear. The crystal, when brought to the proximity of that colored flower, it also gets the color of that flower. But in reality, is it attached? Is it having any color? It is colorless. But because of the proximity of that colored flower, it gets that color. Likewise, our mind, our Atman, our real nature, Atman also looks like it is attached. But in reality, it is unattached. It is pure. But because of the proximity of this ignorant mind, the Vishaya Vastu, the unreal things, proximity which is nearby, it looks as if attached. So we have to raise ourselves, purify our mind. It is as if it is metaphorical, Uddharana. For the Atman in reality is always non-attached. But by its habit of looking outwards, it appears to be attached. It appears apparently to be attached. Even as a crystal, I gave you the example of the crystal or the prism, appears to be red by its proximity to a red object or a flower. When that red object, which is the limiting adjunct, which is causing all this problem, upadhi, limiting adjunct, is removed, the crystal is seen to be white as ever. So when that is removed from its proximity, then the crystal is having its own color. So all the time when it was there, did the crystal change? No. Because of that proximity of that colored flower or colored object, it apparently looked like that. So you have to remove it and the real nature is there. So nothing attachment or lifting it up or something uddharana. Similarly, in respect of our Atman, our real nature, when it is turned inwards, so when we turn our mind inwards instead of external things, Vishaya Vastu, inwards towards the Atman which is within us, inwards, freed from its connection with the external world, with whatever is non-Atman, the unreal things, the Atman remains in its isolation and it is said to be salvaged, Uddhara. So it is metaphorical. It is as if in reality we are not attached, we don't have any impurity, we are pure beings. Only if you turn within, if you are exposing yourself to all these attaching things, it looks as if you are attached. I gave you the example. Otherwise, you are a free man, you are a free woman. Freedom is your birthright. You are Atma Swarupa. So, that is what here apparently you should praise yourself. Uddharana, Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. So, if you purify your mind, turn your mind inwards, that itself will remove all this ignorance and you will be freed. Uddharet Atmana Atmanam. The sequence is that one should raise, salvage the Atman immersed in the ocean of samsara, wrongly thinking that because of the proximity of this samsara, these things, worldly things, you feel as if you are attached or you are an ignorant person or you are a helpless person, weak person, weakling. No. So immersed in the ocean of samsara after attaining yoga rudatva. Yoga rudatva by the Atman established in samyak darshana, purifying your mind and proximity of the self of the Brahmagnana, the knowledge, then the all the limiting agents, all that attachment, all that sorrow, all that problems, everything will vanish. You are always detached, you are always pure. So that is what Shankaracharya is telling through this shloka. So now we shall again go to that beautiful expression told by Lord Krishna. The two verses in which Lord Krishna is telling, what is that? Yadahi nendriyarteshu na karmasvanushyate sarva sankalpa sannyasi yogarudha tadochyate. Verily, when there is no attachment either to sense objects or to actions, having renounced all sankalpas, then he is one said to have risen to yoga state, yogarudha. A person is said to be a yogarudha when na anusajjate, he or she has not any interest. Indriyarteshu, the sensory objects. Karmasu, nor in the actions which will lead us to gain something. Kamya karma, desires, to fulfill our desires, we do. Why does a dog get up and go there? Because it has the desire to get something. Why does a baby or anybody, for a human being, start working? Because to fulfill our desires. Any work is, it has a cause. So the effect is you go work and get some result out of it. So the karma is also because of the desire. Avidya, kama, karma. Why do we do karma? Because of desire. Why did we get the desire? Because of ignorance. Wrongly thinking the right thing is the wrong thing and the wrong thing is the right thing. That is avidya, delusion. So that's why then sarva sankalpa sannyasi. Sannyasi means one who has given up, detached, who has renounced all sankalpas. Such a person is a yoga ruda, one who has established himself or herself in that state of yoga. This is a human possibility. You may not achieve it fully in one life, but it is good to go towards that even a little, for getting at least a little joy out of this life, some real peace in this life of tension and struggle. So now, this is Yoga Ruda, the state of Yoga Ruda, completely giving up all the desire, completely giving up all the works which leads to fulfill all those wrong desires and put us into trouble. So detaching and purifying our mind. Then what is the next thing which Lord Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita? In the 6th chapter, the 5th verse, he tells, Uddharet Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avasadayet Atmaiva Hyatma Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. Raise yourself by yourself. Don't let yourself down. For you alone are your own friend. You alone are your own enemy. This is a wonderful utterance here. We always have the tendency to put out troubles as coming from somebody else. And today, especially in modern civilization, this is a constant attitude of mind. We'll be always blaming somebody else. From the childhood, we'll blame our parents, we'll blame our brother, sister, we'll blame our surroundings, we'll blame the school, we'll blame the teachers, we'll blame the principal, the headmaster, headmistress. We blame everything, but we will never blame ourselves. We are the reason for everything. Take up the responsibility. That's what Swami Vivekananda tells. Stop all this self-pitying. You are the person, you are the cause for everything. So if you have done something, then it is only you who can remove all those things. If you are the cause of sufferings, then you are the cause of the liberation too. That is what Swami Vivekananda tells. Why am I like this? My father or mother was bad, or the society is bad. My father smokes, my father drinks, my mother doesn't have a good nature, godly nature. Then God also, we blame God. God is bad. He has not created properly. We put every blame on others and assert inwardly that I am myself not responsible for anything. As regards civilization, even children say today that if anything is wrong with them, their parents are responsible for it. I have no responsibility, therefore I can escape all the blame. As against it, it is good to have this new idea, Uddharet Atmanatmanam. Then only you can come out of this suffering. If you go on blaming everybody, you will be still in the suffering. No result comes out of it. So take up the responsibility that you are the reason for everything, for what I am today. So I will be the reason to raise myself up from this. That is what Krishna is telling. Uddharet Atmanatmanam. So as against it, it is good to have this new idea, Uddharet Atmanatmanam, raise oneself by oneself. Suppose you received some bad treatment when you are young. So note it, everybody will have in their life. They'll be just harping on that, meditating on that. Or somebody did something bad to me. So go on self-pitying yourself and going deeper into trouble. So always telling that person did to me, that person did that thing to me, this thing to me. Is the cause for all my troubles. No, it's because of myself. I am the reason for everything. If I had not allowed it, nobody can trouble me. It's I who am responsible for everything. My weak mind is the cause of everything. So as against it, it is good to have this new idea, Uddharet Atmanatmanam, raise oneself by oneself. Suppose you received some bad treatment when you were young, well, you can overcome the bad effects. If you go on thinking on that weakness, will you overcome that? No, you will go deeper and you will suffer and suffer. Instead of that, try to overcome it. You can overcome the bad effects, you can remove it, give some positive thoughts. That's why Swami Vivekananda has told the remedy for weakness is not brooding over weakness but to think of strength. This is the wonderful words of Swami Vivekananda. Suppose you have received some bad treatment when you are young, well, you can overcome the bad effects. Have that positive attitude. That's very, very important. Have that positive attitude, positivity, positive. Have that positive attitude. Raise oneself by oneself. And do not allow yourself to be jostled by others all the time. You should not allow yourself to be jostled by others all the time. Why did you allow? Why did you give them a chance to jostle you, trouble you, put you into trouble? So you have become strong, you can stop it. And do not worry about the past, or you do not worry, be anxious about the future. By the present work, you can overcome everything. You can achieve everything. So the present, live in the present, be aware of what you are doing. So have that positive attitude. Raise oneself by oneself and do not allow yourself to be jostled by others all the time. I had this misfortune. I had this misfortune. I have experienced it. Now I have to overcome it. Is everybody? Go to anybody's house and tell that were they happy all their life? No, everybody has undergone problems. You might have remembered the story in the life of Buddha. One lady came with a small baby, dead baby, a just born baby or a little grown baby of maybe 2 years or 1 year. It was dead. Buddha had the power. He could rescue that baby, bring back the life to baby. So the mother came and cried and told Buddha, I want to get back the baby. She cried. Then he told, okay, I will bring back the baby. But go to a house and bring one fist of mustard seed, from which house there is no death at all. So now the mother hurried. She went to house after house after house after house. Every house it's the same reply that recently somebody died. 10 years back somebody died. Yesterday somebody died. Somebody is in the verge of death. So in every house of that town. Every house, not one single house, there was death. There was no house where there was no death at all. Then when she came, she could understand by that. Yes, death is sure to everybody. So we should not worry or be immersed in that. What is to be done in the future? What am I to do? Raise myself from this state. That is very important. What should I do in the future, in the next, in the present? What should I do in the present to overcome that suffering? That is very important. It's a great lesson from the life of Buddha. Not one single person on this earth who can boldly tell that I have never faced any problems. He can only tell, had so many problems, but I have overcome it. I'm happy that problems cannot trouble me anymore. That is raising oneself from that problems. So, positive attitude. Uddharet Atman and Brahman. I had this misfortune. I've experienced it. Now I can overcome. I will overcome. I have to overcome it. That strength is in me. You are that Atman. You have that infinite strength within you. Infinite strength, absolute is there in you. You are that strength itself, knowledge itself, joy itself. So you can. So you have that strength within you. That strength is within me. With that faith in oneself, that is called Atma Shraddha. Vivekananda used to tell, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, Atma Shraddha. So with that faith in oneself, those unhealthy ideas, unhealthy thoughts, unhealthy happenings, they are now only thoughts. That's gone already. Whatever you have experienced earlier, all the difficulties, the problems by many people, they are the past. Forget it. Remove it. They are not real. When this whole world is unreal, do you think that only particular thing is real? Then why do you worry about the unreal? Worry about the real, that is God. So the strength is there within me. By discrimination, that is Viveka, Vichara. You can't discriminate like that with the positive ideas. That is discrimination. That is the Crest-Jewel of Discrimination which we are now dealing. Vivekachudamani. Use that power which is within you, discriminating power, with that faith in oneself. Atma Shraddha, belief in yourself. Those unhealthy ideas goes away. It will run away. The unhealthy ideas goes away, throwing the blame on everybody else. Recently in the children's Hinduism class, we discussed about the story of the monkeys which chased Vivekananda while he was going in Kashi. Vivekananda started running. Seeing one monkey chasing, he started running. So then many monkeys followed, 50, 60, 100. All were about to bite him. They were very near. Anytime they could pounce on him and bite him nicely. But while he was running, another sadhu was sitting nearby told, Sadhu, don't run away. Stop. Face them. Face the brutes. Vivekananda stopped. All the 100 monkeys stopped. Turned back and faced the monkeys. All the 100 monkeys ran away behind. Then when he kept one step forward, all the monkeys ran and sat on the trees. This is a very ordinary incident. Might have happened in everybody's life. I started telling the children, in your life too, in future, now it is all, your life is bed of roses. Everything is so joyful. But in future, you will have to face so many difficulties. Just like these monkeys chasing you. So Vivekananda, with these incidents, he tells us, what is that? When difficulties come, chasing you like these monkeys, if you run away, then more difficulties will come and attack you. But if you face them, then all the difficulties will run away and it will climb the tree. Just like those monkeys, they will run away. So do not be afraid. Face the difficulties head-on collision, head-on. Go and collide with them head-on. Do not be afraid of anything. Be fearless. That is the idea. That is the clarion call given by Swami Vivekananda. Be fearless. Abhihi, abhihi. Be fearless. Do not fear. Face them. That is Uddharet Atmanatmanam. Have faith in yourself. You are the Atma Swarupa. Infinite strength is within you. So that message in that children's class to the children made them so happy. Yes, do not be afraid of anything. Face the problem, face the brutes and see they will run away. So do not be afraid of anything. Do not be cowards. Instead of living in fear like cowards for 100 years like a donkey or a tortoise, it is better to live like a lion fearlessly for 10 years, for 1 year. What is better? So that's what here Lord Krishna is telling. Raise yourself by yourself. So you should have faith in oneself. Those unhealthy ideas, that fear, everything must go, throwing the blame on everybody. So because of that, I am not doing well. Because of this, I am not performing well in the examination. I am not reading properly. No, that is not the reason. My laziness. My laziness is the reason. Give up, shake off that laziness. Wake up and start doing. So throwing the blame on everybody else. Why did you fail in the examination? Teachers did not teach properly, and the teacher who got my answer paper did not correct it properly. He was ignorant. He is not intelligent. Why did you fail in the examination? Teacher did not teach. It is true these days in India and everywhere, every teacher does not teach well, or the question paper was very heavy, difficult, and the questions were not covered by adequate teaching. All these answers are given, but there is also another answer. The important answer, the real answer is, I have not studied well. I have not prepared well. So that preparation, giving up all the attachments, your entertainments, TV, mobiles, iPad, and all those things, give it up, games. And then that is Uddharet Atmanatmanam, raising yourself from by yourself. Give up all those things, study well. That answer nobody is going to give. Everybody blames everybody, but nobody tells that I have not prepared well. It is because of my laziness all this happened. It is good for people to give that answer. I did not study well, I did not prepare myself well. I take the blame on myself. Then you can overcome it. Once you take the blame, once you take the responsibility, then it is very easy to overcome that. Then you will work hard. I shall correct myself quickly. But if you don't take up the responsibility, then you go on blaming and going on. So if you take up the responsibility, that gives you strength, that gives you sense of personal worth. So Lord Krishna tells, Na Atmanam avasadayet. Don't pull oneself down. Do not weaken you by weak thoughts. Don't pull oneself down. Why? Atma eva hi atmano bandhuhu. Oneself is one's own friend. And Atma eva ripur atmaraha. Ripu atmanaha. Ripuhu atmanaha. Oneself is also one's own enemy. What a wonderful expression by Lord Krishna. Atma eva hi atmano bandhuhu. Atma eva ripuhu atmanaha. Verily true. I am my own friend. I am my own enemy. Even if somebody troubles me, if I don't lodge it into my mind, how can that trouble me? Only if you allow that to get into your mind and trouble you, then only it can trouble you. If you don't allow that to happen, come into your mind, who can trouble you? Another beautiful example of Lord Buddha. So when Buddha went to begging alms, a person who was angry on Buddha started, instead of giving him alms, started abusing him, scolding him, using all the filthy words, bad words. Buddha very calmly looked at it. He scolded and scolded and scolded. Finally, was so tired because it's not affecting Buddha at all. He is laughing. He is in a beautiful mood, serene mood, in spite of all the scolding. Then he got tired. And he couldn't scold anymore. Then Buddha told, have you finished scolding? Yes. Okay, now tell me, can you give me an answer? Yes. Now suppose I have come to begging alms from you. You give me alms and I receive it. Now who does that belong to? To you. Once you receive that alms, it belongs to you. Suppose when you give the alms to me, I don't receive it, I refuse it. Whom does that belong to? To me. The person who has given the alms. Then Buddha told in a serene mode, I will not receive whatever you scolded just now. I will not receive it, and he went away calmly. So whom all that scolding belonged to? To the person who scolded. So what a beautiful lesson taught by Buddha. You are troubled because you receive it. If you do not receive it, put a mental barrier, block it. So that's what here Lord Krishna is telling. Even if somebody troubles me, If I don't lodge it in my mind, it will not trouble me at all. So it's in my hand, it's in my mind. That's why I gave that expression, mana eva karanam. Mind is the only reason for bandha and moksha. In all of us, it is my mind that is the cause for my bondage as far as also my liberation. If you don't discipline it, if you don't properly train it, that is the cause for my downfall. That becomes my enemy. If I train it properly, if you discipline the mind, if you give up your laziness, then that will the mind, your own mind will be your friend, will liberate you. Mana eva karanam manushyanam bandhamokshayoho. The mind alone is the reason for our liberation, for our freedom, for our happiness, and for our troubles and downfall too. That's why Uddharet Atmanatmanam. Raise yourself by yourself. Who should raise you? If you are hungry, if somebody else eat food for you, will it satiate your hunger? If you are very thirsty, if somebody drinks water for you, will you get the thirst satiated? Impossible. So you have to drink water if you are thirsty. You have to eat the food if you are hungry. So Uddharet Atmanatmanam. Atmanam avasadayet, Krishna is telling. So if I take up the responsibility, if I don't take up, if I detach to all the problems, if I don't receive all the problems from outside, if I take it, the trouble is mine. If I don't take it, the trouble is yours. So by my taking it, my accepting it, take up the responsibility. Instead of taking those problems, take up responsibility. We have that strength in us. So we are influenced by everything else. We allow our mind to get influenced by everything in the world. That's why we get into problem. Hence, it is good to develop that inner strength. It is like what we say in the medical language. You may have number of microbes around you which can cause disease in you. You may have number of microbes. There is millions and trillions of microbes, viruses, bacteria around you. Now you can see everywhere the coronavirus is there. The microbes are there around you. In your city, everywhere, the whole world. So there you may have number of microbes around you which can cause disease in you. But if you are strong in physics, if you are strong in physique, if you are strong, if your immunity is strong, if your body is strong, because your body can be strong only when your mind is strong. So if you have a strong physique, no disease will come to you. If your immunity is strong, no disease can attack you. No microbe can do harm to you. So strengthen yourself, strengthen your mind. That is what Lord Krishna is teaching us. That is what which is very, very important here. Now we have learnt about that wonderful teaching of Lord Krishna in the form of those beautiful things, Uddharet Atmanatmanam and Yoga Ruda, all those things. So Shakracharya has also brought about that, and he has given us that wonderful teaching. We will go to the next verse, and I will just teach you the next verse now, and then we will stop the class here, which is the next verse, that is the 10th verse. Sanyasya sarvakarmani, sanyasya sarvakarmani bhava bandha vimuktaye yatyatam panditair dhiraihi atmabhyasa upastitaihi. That is the 10th verse. In this 10th verse, we will chant it. I'm going to repeat it now. You can repeat it after me. This 10th verse Shankaracharya is telling us, after all this Uddhareta Atmanatmanam, everything, Sanyasya Sarva Karmani Bhavabandha Vimuktaye Yatyatam Panditair Dhiraihi Atmabhyasa Upastitaihi Sanyasya Sarva Karmani Bhavabandha Vimuktaye Yatyatam Panditair Dhiraihi Atmabhyasa Upastitaihi. So what is the meaning, simple meaning of this verse, 10th verse of the Vivekachudamani? For release from the bonds of samsara, this transmigratory existence, after having renounced all the karmas, the actions with desire or for the luxuries or for the enjoyment of this world, all that karmas which are leading us to think that we are this body for the enjoyment, the sense enjoyment. So you have to give up all those karmas. Sanyasya sarva karmani. Let the wise and the brave strive with unceasing cultivation of the knowledge of their Atman. So that is the 10th verse. We will take up this 10th verse in the next class and go to the deeper meaning. We have seen the deeper meaning of the 9th verse in such a fine way by taking up Bhagavad Gita, help of Bhagavad Gita, and so many other ways. So now we will be not meeting again in the next week because of Navaratri. There will be Navaratri program. Only after Navaratri again we are going to start our Vivekachudamani class further. All the classes will start only after Navaratri. Now it's the time for us to go for the question and answer session. Now there is one question. The question is how to handle and calm down the mind when impurities are going out. Yeah, now you can see just now the father and mother, husband and wife are quarreling. Both are each of them are angry with each other. So just from the words it may come to the next blows, exchange of blows. So to such an extent both are angry. They are in problem now. And suddenly now the beautiful small baby has come out of the bed and crawling. It came to the place where the father and mother are quarreling. The baby doesn't know that is anger, they are quarreling, they are in trouble, all those things the baby doesn't know. With a laughing face the baby is coming. Immediately what will happen to the father and mother who are about to get into blows or very much angry? Whole of anger will go away and they will take up that child and cajole and caress that child and the anger is forgotten. So the entry of that beautiful baby whom both of them love could overcome the anger, the troubles, the suffering, isn't it? That's why Swami Vivekananda tells the remedy for weakness, that is the remedy to handle and calm down the mind which is troubled by impurity, is not worrying or thinking about impurity, but to give the opposite, that is give strengthful thoughts, good thoughts. And that is what Shankaracharya is explaining, Vivekachudamani is telling, that thinking of God, Atmaika, Gnana, everywhere, every shloka it is there, every this thing, what is that? The remedy is given in every verse. So Atma Abhyasa, thinking of Atman, thinking of God, thinking of good things, positive thoughts, again and again explained, positive thoughts, that is the only remedy. I told the only remedy for remove the darkness is bringing the light. So the only remedy for all the suffering is bringing in knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of God, knowledge of the higher things. So that is the only remedy. No other remedy. Is there any remedy to remove the darkness? Bringing in light is the only remedy. Is there any other remedy? No. So the only remedy is give strengthful thoughts, good thoughts, positive thoughts. Think of God. Think of something very good. Give constant positive thoughts. The impurity will go away. Just like there is a pot full of dirty water in that pot. Now you should remove the dirty water without lifting the pot. The vessel is not to be lifted. It is stuck in. So there is complete bad water, dirty water in the pot. So what is the only way out? You have to pour in forcibly good water, pure water, fresh water into that vessel. Then the bad water, the wrong water or the impure water will go out. That is the only way. Is there any other way? Without lifting the vessel is stuck up in one place. It is full of bad water. It is full of impure water. So if you have to remove it without lifting it up, the only way is pour in good water, pure water forcibly into it, and the impure water will go out. So pour in good thoughts, pour in thoughts of God and good things, the life of so many people, teaching of so many people, positive ideas like that idea of Swami Vivekananda constantly. Then where is the time to think of bad things and impurity? Then you can come out of that. It's very easy. Yeah, I think we don't have any other questions. We can end our session by the closing prayer. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.